Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to the New York session. Today is Wednesday, the 9th of April 2025. Let's start with the dollar index. Okay. Now, yesterday I was expecting them to basically take out this high and then drop again. But that didn't happen. They went to the last up candle and then price drop. So if you look at the last up candle, this one here, and then rejected overnight, that's a good thing because that's what I was expecting. Even if they had gone above that, I would have expected them to drop. I spoke about this gap being created during Asia, and I'm not a fan of trading Asian gaps, but it did prove me wrong and we went down. So we are expecting that continuation to the downside. Overnight we gap down, so that's another good thing. So we have a gap here, which is on the daily, and then we have another one here, which is now also on the daily time frame. So on the daily, we are actually gapping down, which is a sign of strong weakness on the part of the dollar index. So our next downside objective is now 101.144. Okay, so dollar index, look for continuation to the downside. With that has given us euro to continue going up to take out this high, and then we'll be aiming for that equal high as well. Okay, so one day at a time. Today on the H4, I think I have placed a buy limit. Probably have tagged me in. I did place a buy limit here with a stop loss there, aiming for here and here. Right, so similar to last week, right, when we were expecting a fair value gap to form, and then we dip into the gap and then price shot up. The same thing here. So that's the entry with the stop loss below this candle, and then looking for that continuation to the upside. First objective being this equal high, and then the rest to continue going higher. So that's what I'm expecting on the dollar. On the euro. With the British pound, not so great, because I spoke about price taking out the previous month and breaking down, so it's gonna struggle because we have the euro pound, which is gonna continue going up to here. And that's where we said price should be going, and with that will bring basically weakness in the pound. So pound will not be able to go up as euro is doing, right? So stay away from buying the British pound. Euro Aussie, yesterday I was super convinced they were going to take out this high, and came very close to it during the New York session, and then price dropped again. I think the the news on the Australian dollar seems to be very, very negative. I don't know much about that news because I don't really pay attention to the news. I'm always looking at I'm looking at price, right? But it seems the news is very strong. It has a lot of impact on the Australian dollar. But with what the dollar index is doing, Australian dollar should be flying by now, but it's not. So maybe at some point it will catch up with all that the euro and the Aussie has done. But until we get like a daily close above previous day high, it's gonna struggle to go up. And I don't actually recommend selling, simply because we are too low. If we go onto the higher time frame, we are too low. Okay, so I don't recommend selling. Is it possible it can take out this low? Possibly it can, but that would be extreme. Okay, that would be extreme. I think it will come up by the end of this month. It will come back up, because last month we took out the previous month low here, so we should at least go for this high. Now that has created equal high, right? So this month opening and dropping to attack this low again and this low, personally I think we'll be getting a rejection. So look out for a rejection on the daily first, then on the weekly, because that highs are too clean. Okay, and I'll give you another reason why I'm expecting the buy, but it's not happening. Let me bring out my seasonal pattern on the Australian dollar. Okay, so if I was to bring this one here, okay, so if you look at where my line is, that's the 2nd of April. Okay, and from the 2nd of April going all the way up till the date is 16th of April, that should have given us a huge rally. As a matter of fact, it should have started from the 17th of March. Okay, from the 17th of March, which was somewhere here. Okay, we should have had a big rally to the upside. That's basically what this move is all about. But it didn't do that. And the fact that it didn't do that means there's something wrong somewhere. It's either that's manipulation, or that could be the news event, right? Last week news. That's what's causing that. And if that's the case, that should be it. And then we should see a movement, even not a move up like the euro is doing, at least a pullback, right? So just be mindful if you're trading the Australian dollar, because we might get a daily up candle to come and take out these equal highs. Okay, so right now what I'm looking at is this to that as a range, and we can come up here and then potentially 50%. We took out the previous day's low, and on the H4 we closed through this fair value gap over here, and on the H1 we had a break through a New York session fair value gap as well, even though there's two of them. There's one here, one here. We've traded through this. I'm expecting the London fair value gap to hold and then take price up. If we don't even get that and we can stay above the previous day low rate, okay, if we can stay above it like this and then the day closes, then tomorrow this high and then that high could be a target. if we can stay above previous day's low, then this high and that high going into tomorrow might be a target. Is it possible to go for a sell? By all means, if you want to, you can do a sell for the continuation to the downside, but I don't recommend it. So if you want to sell, then you use this high to this low, pulling back to OTE, and then you're selling to continue going down. The only problem with that is dollar index is bearish. You don't want to be selling the dollar index, right? Because dollar index is going down. So if you sell, it means you are saying that the dollar index is strong. Okay, that's why I don't recommend that. But based on what price is doing, you can do that if you want to. Okay. New Zealand is same narrative as the Aussie dollar. So you can look for a continuation to the downside, or based on the same narrative that I just gave, we could be coming out for the previous day's high by the close of today, and then tomorrow you look for those as a run, or even today watching the London session down. This is just a down candle for that to hold and then send us higher, right? I think we can trade in here. That's where it might encounter some resistance. So I think I prefer the Aussie, because the Aussie has managed to trade through one fair value gap here, which initially resisted price, and we are now above it. So if you look at over here, we traded through it, and now we came back and you're finding support, and you also have one down here. So I think I prefer the Aussie to the New Zealand. Okay. Apart from that, dollar yen, I think we spoke about this also going down. I would have preferred them actually coming into at least OTE or a previous day's high rate. We did not take out the previous day's high, and then price rejected, and obviously we've continued going down as it's supposed to do. And I think this low and that low, that's the drawn liquidity. Currently this one, and that's where price is going. So look for a continuation to the downside. In terms of entries, I think I've spoke about, you can drop down to the lower time frame, look for a run above the high, and then pull back, and then you sell from the 5 to 15 minutes time frame. Okay, you can drop down, look for something like this, and then sell, and then sell. All right. If I drop down to the M15, see if I can find an example. We had one over here. That's a run above the high, break, and then you pull back, and then you sell. Now we have this run above the high, and it broke down. So if you pull back here, right, that can be also a sell. Your stop goes above the run, the one that's the run, and I think that's about it. So if you can pull back here, that little fair value gap over there, this one. So you run the high, you break, pull back, then you sell. You run the high, break, pull back, and then you sell. Right? So watch out for that. That can get you a trade to continue going to the downside. And I think dollar CAD, I was expecting them to also attack this low here. It didn't quite take out this high as I was expecting, because I wanted at least a run back above this high and then we go down, but it looks like it's not going to be able to do that. So wait for today to go below this low, then tomorrow look for a sell to attack these lows. All right, so wait for today to close below that and then look for a sell to attack these lows. And you can use the same pattern that I just spoke about on the dollar yen on the 15 minutes or 5 minutes. So drop down, find a run above the high, break down, so here to here. If you ever come back in that area, you can sell short. We having another one here. Let's just swing high, they run it and then they break. So if we come back up, that will be, I think it might struggle to go down from this fair value gap. So maybe anticipate it coming back up here, because this and that looks too clean. So anticipate them coming back into that landing session fair value gap, then a move down. Okay, if it stops you out, then maybe they will go for this high before they come back down again, but I don't think it should do that. So if we get a reaction from this New York session, yesterday's session, the fair value gap that was left, because they've already reacted off from this one, nice move away, and then this, we've had a nice move away. So now that one, okay, that one is gonna get a nice move away from it as well, but I don't trust, because there's no gap in here and there's a high and a high here. So watch that fair value gap up there. I prefer that one because it did take out this high, Asian session high, and then we dropped. So watch that area. Let's go to gold. So gold, yesterday we spoke about price moving from here to come and attack this low, and then we look for a buy to go up, because I think it will continue going up. It didn't quite get to that low, and now we are back up again. On the daily, what I'm seeing is a close. It hasn't closed yet, but it looks like it's gonna close above the previous day's high, and then we've gone above Monday's high as well. Monday dipped into a weekly fair value gap, so what I'm looking for now is a continuation to the upside. We can drop into this as a pullback and continue going up. This candle hasn't closed yet, that's why I did not place it in here. Okay, this one has not closed yet, hence we have about 1 hour 36 minutes to go. If we can close above this, then maybe they can use this gap to continue going up, because this is a nice gap forming in London. So let's see how this candle is going to close, then we can use this gap to get maybe a trade idea to continue going up. Like I said, gold will continue going up, because on the weekly, this is just a pullback and it's just a reaccumulation. It's forming the low of April. That's all it's doing. Okay, So this is the low of April, and then we'll continue going higher again. Another reason why I'm expecting let's say gold to also go up is because, let me bring the seasonality. So if you look at this, we form a low in March, 16th of March, which is roughly here. Where is it? Yeah, in that inside this week, we form a low, and then we go up until that is this, I think, 13th of April. So next week, and then there's a pullback and then a continuation to the upside. So based on that seasonality, this week we're supposed to be rejecting and going higher. The price action is also supporting the idea. Okay, so I'm expecting a continuation to the upside. Hence, I'm looking for a buy. It won't be bad, this down candle. But it's New York session, they can take it out and come inside here and then continue going up. If you want, you can take a buy on that, but don't leave your stop loss below it because of this gap. Rather leave your stop below that candle low. Okay, and then expect them to trade here for a partial, and then leave the rest to continue going up. So buying that down candle, don't leave your stop below it because this gap is there. Then you look for partial here and then let the rest go. Crude oil. So yesterday we had a rejection to continue going up. During the New York session, it gave a nice big drop, and that was the entry, but I basically missed it. I wanted them to go just a little bit above this equal high in there, and then I'll get a trade, but that didn't happen, and then they drop. Today the same thing. I'm looking for a continuation to the downside because it's gapping down. You can see we're gapping. So let's go to the monthly. This candle's high 53.85. That's your next downside objective on the monthly time frame. Okay, so yeah, that's your next downside objective, 53.92. Energy is going to be cheap. Yay. I think we can drop all the way to 43.80. 43.80, and that can be a potential level price can reach. Okay, so on the weekly time frame, look for every single week to be a sell. Maybe you might have a week where price might give you a pullback, but still a continuation to the downside. All right, so crude oil, we are looking for continuation to the downside. Now let's look for an entry. I think I like this. I like this area. Yeah, I like that area, but I recommend leaving your stop above the London session high. Okay, leave your stop above the London session high, take something off here, and then let the rest go. Okay, we can reach that 43.64 level. So if you get in, let the rest go. Let me see. Yeah, it's looking good. All right, so look for continuation to the downside. Okay, let's look at ES. So ES, same thing. We're expecting continuation to the downside. Yesterday, if you recall, I said we need them to go and attack this high first, and then we go down. And they did that right here, and then we went down. We rejected because he took a couple of trades during that session, and then attacking that low. So going forward, that is your draw on liquidity for now. And then let me hide this execution. Too many trades. I think I did give a level where we'll be reaching for. So all that I'm doing is just refining the gap that price needs to rebalance as it's dropping. Finally remember that word, refinement. Okay. All right. I'll tell you what these colors are for in a minute. Okay. So the red one was the first level that price will be reaching for. Then it will go for the the yellow one. Then it will go for the green one. Then ultimately the black one. So since they did touch the red one. The next one will be definitely this low here, and then it will reach for the yellow one. Okay, so 480875, that's the next draw on liquidity on ES. Then 4796. Now when they touch the 4808.75 level, there might be a bounce similar to this one. Okay, those are New York session gaps that happened in the past over here. Price never traded to them, and now they are coming back. So it will just act as a small little bounce, and it will continue going down. So 4.80875, that's your next draw on liquidity. So this New York session, you're looking for a move to the downside from here, from this gap, to continue going there. I know there's not a lot, but that's what you get. I don't see it doing much. So yeah, it can, go through it and then reach for that 4746.25 level as well. Okay, just wait for the purple line or the purple shaded area, which is in the next 25 minutes, right? A small run above, maybe either a previous 1 hour candle high, drop down to the M15 and then look for a sell, something like this. Drop. We just want an up candle to be traded through during the purple shaded area, right? You want an up candle to be traded through. They will go down below it. Sell and then put your stop loss above the up candle, but wait for the purple line or the purple time. Okay, that's the AM session for ES. Then you do that and you aim for these downside objectives. Okay, so that's your draw on liquidity on the ES. I had another trade on Euro Pound. Yesterday it did not work out. Now let me give you the narrative as what I was expecting on the Euro Aussie. So on the daily time frame, per what we always look for, if a high is taken, they will take out a low. So that was the narrative of what I was expecting yesterday, for them to go and attack previous day's low. But that did not happen. Yet it couldn't take out the previous day's high either. Okay, and now they've taken out this high and it's rejecting. So I'm expecting it to same way go for a previous day's low. Okay, between the Australian dollar and the pound dollar, Euro Aussie and pound Aussie. I like the pound Aussie, because we have the Euro pound screaming high. That is weakness in pound. So the pound Aussie can go for this low. And on the 1 hour, I was watching this gap for the entry. Right here. For the entry to go and attack this low and that low. So something like this. That's just that. Okay, and then that's it. That's just all the trade is all about. It's just taking the previous day's high, so you're aiming for the previous day's low. That's it, right? And then maybe once it gets here, just put your stop loss to break even, because it's a New York session fair value gap. They are very strong, right? So you can put your stop loss to break even and then just wait for them to take out the previous day's low. Okay, that's that. Let's move on to the crypto market. Okay, We do have Bitcoin first, so let's look at Bitcoin. So yesterday I wanted them to take out the previous day's high and then drop. They couldn't do that, and we rejected, which is okay. Now the rejection, I was expecting it to just drop into, let me see if I have my lines. Okay, it's over there, into this level, the 72,713.03 level, but you can see it paused. Now that's not good. Okay, that is not good. And why? Because if you are going to go up, then it needs to be a straight drop. We need a straight drop. We don't want any pausing in there, because any pause is a sign of redistribution, meaning there will be a continuation to the downside. Okay, there will be a continuation to the downside. So based on what I'm seeing, it seems like Bitcoin might drop. It's going to drop to that 72,713, but it might even drop to 6969928. Okay, because the daily is showing a reaccumulation here, right? That's not a good sign. We should have just dropped and dropped and dropped. The fact that we paused on the H4 means that they are going to be redistributing in here, and redistribution goes with big candles going down. So we will be dropping one more time to this gap. Let me go back and then do the same thing that I did. I think I already did it, but I'll do it again. Yeah, 69,928. Yeah, 69,928. That would be where I'm expecting them to drop to. And then let's see how price will print the candles when it gets there. Okay, because I need to see the elephant in the room type of move to get there. And then, or they can get there, try to go up, then the elephant comes in, and then we reverse, meaning they can just drop, right, and then try to go up, then they move down, then we reject, and then we go up. Okay, so that can also be an option. If that's the case, that's fine. They can do that, which means when price gets here, it's gonna pretend as if it's going up, and then they will smash it down, then we reverse, and then we go up. Okay, so that can be the narrative, but for now we're looking for a sell. We are not buying, we are looking for a sell to continue going down. Ethereum, same thing. I think that one is just dead. 1353.41, and with how Bitcoin couldn't drop as I was expecting, it leaves the possibility of Ethereum dropping to that 876.98 level that I spoke about based on the big time frame. These lows here, that still personally is gonna be run. Okay, too clean. They will run it. So even if we get a bounce off from here, watch this gap, because it might only pull back to the gap and then continue going down. So even if we get a bounce off from here, it might just come there and then continue going down. Then maybe we start coming back up. All right. So Bitcoin look for, Ethereum look for 1353.41 as the next draw on liquidity. In terms of trade ideas, you can use the same run above a high on the M15, like this one. This one is looking good. Run above this high, break down, nice fair value gap, sell that. There's a fair value gap sitting right above it, so don't put your stop loss there. Then aim for continuation to the downside for today. Okay, even if it stops you out, look for the same thing and then you sell. Okay, it's a sell market. So when we are in a sell, we run a high and then we break, then you sell. Okay, that's the selling pattern. And if you're bullish, you run a low, you break, then you buy. All right. Okay. Hype. Okay, so hype, that's a nice pullback. That should be a rejection to continue going down. That's a run above previous day's high into that gap. I think this can go in for a short-term trade. And all the way down to attack this low. Now, stop loss can just go above that gap. Okay, there. Or like I used to do, 88.8. But I don't think it should come up anymore. Let's see. Yeah, it can come just one more time to this candle's low, because that's the breaker. So it can come back one more time. I don't like the one this stepping down. I don't like it. So maybe that. Then look for continuation to the downside. Okay, whatever happens, you're looking for hype to come back and make a new low. Okay, we are just anticipating the high of the week forming, and then we go down, because when we open, we've been going up, up, up. So the high will form and then we come back down again. I like this one, that candle's low, and this candle's low. Whichever one they hit, and then you get the aggressive move down, that's the one you're looking for. So wait for price to hit that low, either this one or that, and then you see an aggressive move away from it. Okay, so they hit it, aggressive move, pull back, then you sell. Okay, an aggressive move like this, bang, breaking a low, then you look for the pullback, then you sell. So let me place it up here, and then if you want to just sell and hold, then do this. I don't like this. They'll probably come back one more time. If it doesn't, then you can drop down to the lower time frame, M15, run, break, then sell. XRP, same thing. This low is important. We don't want the weekly to close below it, so they can come back one more time to attack this low. Now that would be very, very good, because look what is done. That is the high resistance, and they are both wicks. Okay, so if it comes back down here, which like I'm anticipating Bitcoin is going to drop, this one will drop again. And I like the fact that on the daily, notice that it's all down candles. That's a good thing. We don't want any up candle in there. If up candle comes in, then it's going to be redistribution. We don't want it. So we have this move, then distribution here. So we want this just to drop and then reject. Okay, so look for on Ripple 1.6139, next downside objective, but we want immediate rejection after going below it. The tool. Okay, so the tool, that is going to be a next draw on liquidity, because it's reacting off from the gap. It took our previous day's low, so we're gonna anticipate a move down. So these two up candles now is acting as redistribution, and it's gonna drop. We might see 2 or 3 days drop, or it can be just one. Whatever happens, you're expecting a drop. Okay, at least to attack Monday's low, and since there's nothing here, it might give you quick down candles, maybe to attack this low, but that's the all-time low, so I don't know what's gonna happen. All right, touch key is also gonna come and attack this low. That's still the drawn liquidity. Had it gone up, it will still be coming for that low based on the weekly. It can't do it because of this up candle. It's too strong. Momentum is too strong to the downside. Yeah, nice gap rejection. I think it's gonna come. Not think, that's what I think it's gonna do based on Bitcoin. And then Solana, same thing. Actually, let me go to the higher time frame and see. Okay. Yep, that's the drawn liquidity, 78.14. It's going for last year's low. Yep, it's going for last year's low. So Solana expected to also drop with the expectation of Bitcoin. Expect Solana to also continue dropping to 78.14. Okay, now this low to this high, that's a dealing range. That's a range, actually a dealing range. So 70.5 to 79 retracement level. In this area, we can expect a buy to happen. But based on what I'm seeing on the yearly, they will attack the yearly low because we've rejected a previous year's high and then we broke structure. So as I've been teaching, if you've been around for some time, I've always been talking about how fractal prices. Okay, now if you understand fractals, then when a candle high is taken, you drop down and it breaks structure, it's going to attack that candle's low. So what I mean is, and this can some of you can learn from it. If this is a candle and then we open a new candle and this candle's high is taken, you drop down to the lower time frame and then they've broken structure on that lower time frame, aka I don't know if this is a daily, you drop down, they've taken out the 1 hour aggressively with a fair value gap. This candle's low is going to be taken. Okay, and that's what I mean by fractal. It means it can happen on all time frames, but the higher the time frame, the better. So you might see the same pattern on a 1 minute, but on the 1 minute it might not work because that 1 minute might be printing something towards what the 5 minutes doing or towards what the H1 is doing. But if you have a daily high being taken, since a daily is stronger than 1 minute, that daily high being taken with the break of structure is stronger than a 1 minute high taken with maybe a 30 seconds break in structure. I don't know if that makes sense. So if we take our previous day's high and then we break structure on the 1 hour, there's a high probability of that attacking this candle, the day, the low. It's highly probable for it to take out the low than a 1 minute high being taken and a 30 seconds breaking structure for that 1 minute low to be taken. Okay, so if this is a daily and it's highly probable, then the same thing is applicable to a yearly. So a yearly high being taken, a 3 months low being broken, leaving a fair value gap, it means that that yearly low is going to be taken. It's not different. Okay, it's the same thing. So that's what we mean by price is fractal. So if I go back to the candle, oops. Okay, so if I come back here, now if I go to the yearly, the 1 year, you see. Okay, so that's the candle, that's the high, they've taken it out. And then if you drop down to the 3 months, they've taken out this low, currently, this one. So that's the break. So it will attack the candle's low, that candle's low, this one. It's going to attack that low. That's the break. So that's the last down candle prior to the move up. Now we are below it. So it will attack the previous year low. So Solana, you are looking for that as the drawn liquidity. Okay, and then once we get there, it's likely going to give a rejection. So that's the business. And then finally AI 16, Okay, so this would be an example of it, right? So that's the high being taken. Okay, watch this candle slow. When that high was taken, drop down, this down candle. I'm using the weekly, but you can use the daily as well. When this candle, down candle was broken, that low will be the drawn liquidity. Price is gonna attack that. Okay, and it's applicable to any time frame, not just the yearly. But if you see it on a big time frame like this, that should give you like confidence in where price is going. Now sometimes you get taken out. Like yesterday I was I was talking about this pair. This one, the same idea. Okay, sometimes you get taken out, but it's okay. If you do it 10 times, you get probably 7 out of 10. And in trading we do probabilities. So that's the previous day's high. So I'm giving you why yesterday I was expecting this low as a drawn liquidity. The same idea. The high was taken, they broke down aggressively here. So this low is supposed to be the target, right? It has not gone above that yet, so that still might be the target. Now what I did find out is sometimes these, personally I've not seen this before. Okay, let me put that one out there. It's happening because we have some weakness on the Australian dollar. That might be the case, because usually here we should have gone for that low. So this to me is manipulation. But what I found out is what price can do is it can pull back. This is advanced price action based on my observation. Okay, no one taught me anyway, it's just my observation. What I found out is that during the rejection, when this candle closes and it does not take out this low, this one, when it opens, okay, it can trade up into this high to this low. It can trade up to OTE. Now when it trades up to OTE, what it does is it eliminates the idea of this being a high and this being a low, which is a high. Okay, it does eliminate the idea, because this will create what? A high resistance. Hence price will struggle to go up. So what it does is it comes up to neutralize that, and now we don't have any high anymore, but rather a lower high, and then it will drop to come and attack this low like this. Then this will be a down candle, this will be a down candle, and if we are bullish, then they will reject and then come back up again, and then you see price going up, and that will end up as a reaccumulation. So in a bullish market, if you see something like that, maybe just don't go short expecting them to attack this low straight away, because sometimes they will manipulate it to come up a little bit, then come and attack the low, then immediate reject, and then start going back up again in a continuation to the upside or in an uptrend. In a downtrend, it will not do that. Okay, in a downtrend, if you are going down and we have an up candle and then the next candle takes it out, this one will not come up here, it will just drop like this. Okay, it will not come up here, and then you end up having a swing. Okay, so in an uptrend, you can anticipate them coming up maybe here. It does come very close to taking this high out, but it will not do it. Okay, you go in and check what I'm saying, and you see it there. and it's just based on observation. When you observe price, you see something like that. Okay, so back to that AI 16 or back to Solana. This is gonna take out this low, even if this year, okay, we've got about 8 months to go. If this year ends and it doesn't take out this low, if you see it coming up, don't think it's gonna make a new high. It's still gonna come back and attack this low and that low. All right, that's why it's important to always refer to the high time frame. If you don't understand the high time frame and you don't understand fractals, in my country we say utiate. Your head has fallen. Because market will kill you. Anyway, this is an example, right? Notice that it did not come up. This rejected. This did not come up. It just opened and it dropped. That's how it looks like. Anyway, let's go back to AI and then close it off. So AI, that's our last fair value gap. And based on the Bitcoin giving us a buy very soon, I think this gap is gonna hold for some time. So let me do the same thing as I did with the other ones. So here, price is gonna drop here, and you can see we're already there. And then on the daily, so we have this as a level, and then that one, which I don't think we should be getting there, but it's still a possibility. Let me go to the H4. Okay. Change the colors. Okay, so those are the levels we're expecting price to trade to, with the continuation to the downside on Bitcoin. So we've had an up candle here, so one more move here, and then it can get to this one. Now that would be all in terms of downside on the daily. That it's all going to depend on where Bitcoin is going to reverse from, which is if we drop here, which is what I'm expecting today. If we drop there, wait for the fake run up, then a quick sudden move. That's when you start looking at AI 16. Okay, so until Bitcoin gets there, don't look at AI 16 going up yet. Let Bitcoin get to this area, then you start looking at AI 16 for the potential reversal. Because from the 3-month time frame, now a question will be, is this not the same as the year reversing on like the one happening on Solana? No, the yearly high has been taken. We still have the down candle here, so we are very far away from actually breaking and going lower. On the monthly, we are still far away. That's the down candle over there. Okay, this is December. This down candle does not count. This is when the year started, and then we took out the high and we rejected. So we are just coming in a pullback, and then we resume going up. Maybe when they go up like this, and then we start coming back down, then we can probably be a little bit cautious because they can break this low. Okay, this is just a V, something like this. All right, but once it goes up, you form a higher high, and that's when they can break. Okay, so that's it for now. I think I've gone way over my time for today. Thank you for tuning in. Let me go and watch my pound Aussie trade and make some small little change, and then I'll see you all tomorrow for another session. Have a great day. See you tomorrow. Take care.